Every year, millions of people start businesses. Most of them don't fail because they had bad ideas. They fail because they spent months building something nobody wanted. We've been taught that businesses fail because people don't work hard enough, or because they don't have enough money, or because someone else stole their idea. That's comforting. It's also wrong. Imagine spending 2 years building your dream business, launching it, and discovering nobody cares. So here's the real question. If brilliant ideas aren't enough, then why do some businesses succeed, while thousands of others quietly disappear? The answer has almost nothing to do with having a better idea. It has everything to do with learning faster. There's a business framework that's helped companies avoid wasting millions, not by predicting success, but by discovering failure before it becomes expensive. And once you understand it, you'll never look at starting a business the same way again. Because the biggest mistake entrepreneurs make isn't failing, it's building before learning. And that's the mess. Let's fix it. What if everything you've been told about starting a business was backwards? What if you didn't need a brilliant idea, a huge investment, or years of experience? What if the smartest entrepreneurs don't start by building businesses at all? They start by testing assumptions. There's a framework that has quietly changed how companies like Dropbox, Airbnb, and thousands of startups are built. It doesn't promise you'll never fail. It helps you fail before failure becomes expensive. It's called the Lean Startup, Eric Ries. And by the end of this video, you won't just know what it is. You'll understand why it completely changes the question every entrepreneur should ask before building anything. Most people think successful businesses begin with the perfect idea, a 100-page business plan, millions in funding, and a product polished until there's nothing left to improve. Sounds logical. It's also the fastest way to waste years of your life. The Lean Startup asks a completely different question. What if your first job isn't to build, it's to learn? Learn what customers actually want. Learn what they ignore. Learn what they're willing to pay for. Because the companies that win aren't always the ones with the best ideas. They're the ones that learn the fastest. Failure isn't the enemy. Expensive failure is, and nothing is more expensive than spending months or even years building something nobody was waiting for. So if building first is the mistake, what should you do instead? Think less like an entrepreneur. Think more like a scientist. Scientists don't fall in love with theories. They test them. Your business idea is no different. Every startup begins with a list of invisible assumptions. People want this. They'll pay for it. They'll switch from what they're using today. But believing those things doesn't make them true. Only evidence does, and that's where one of the most important ideas in modern entrepreneurship comes in. The minimum viable product, or simply, the MVP. Most people misunderstand what an MVP actually is. It isn't a cheap product. It isn't an unfinished product. It's an experiment. The fastest possible way to answer one question. Do people actually want this? Imagine you're building an app. Instead of spending 6 months writing code, create a landing page, explain the idea, add a sign-up button, then watch what people do. Not what they say, what they do. Want to open a restaurant? Don't lease a building yet. Cook 10 meals, sell them, listen, improve, then repeat. Thinking about launching a clothing brand. Don't manufacture 1,000 shirts. Design 5, post them online, let the market vote. Because the goal isn't to impress people, it's to learn from them. Every dollar you don't waste, every month you don't lose, every bad idea you discover early, gives you another chance to build the right business. Here's a truth that most first-time founders don't want to hear. Your first idea is probably wrong, and that's perfectly normal. Great businesses aren't built on perfect first ideas. They're built on better second, third, and fourth ones. Lean Startup doesn't try to stop you from making mistakes. It helps you discover them while they're still small, while they're still cheap, before they become expensive. That's why every lean startup follows one simple loop. Build, measure, learn. Build the smallest version you possibly can. Put it in front of real people. Watch what they actually do. Learn from the results. Then repeat. Notice something. I never said guess or hope. Because business isn't gambling, it's experimentation. Experiments don't care about opinions. They care about evidence. Did people click? Did they sign up? Did they buy? Did they come back? Did they tell someone else? Because what people say is interesting, but what people do is everything. And eventually, every founder reaches the same crossroads. Do you keep going or do you change direction? In lean startup, that's called persevering or pivoting if the evidence says you're moving in the right direction. Keep improving, keep learning, keep growing. But what if the data tells you you're wrong? That's when one of the hardest decisions in business shows up, the pivot. Pivoting doesn't mean your dream has failed. It means your assumptions have. Maybe it's the product. Maybe it's your customers. Maybe it's your pricing. Maybe it's your marketing. Maybe you're solving the right problem for the wrong people. The worst founders protect bad ideas. The smartest founders protect the mission, and they're willing to change everything else. That's exactly why Lean Startup encourages intelligent pivots instead of stubborn persistence. History proves it. YouTube wasn't supposed to become YouTube. Instagram wasn't supposed to become Instagram. Slack wasn't supposed to become Slack. Their first ideas failed. Their pivots succeeded. Pivoting isn't failure. Refusing to pivot is. One thing people completely misunderstand about Lean Startup is that lean doesn't mean lazy. It doesn't mean doing less work. And it definitely doesn't mean cutting corners. It means learning with discipline. Every decision you make should be backed by evidence, not assumptions, not wishful thinking, data. But here's another mistake founders make. They measure the wrong things. They celebrate likes. They celebrate views. They celebrate comments. Meanwhile, the business is quietly dying. The metrics that actually matter are different. Are customers coming back? Are they paying? Are they telling other people? Are they staying? Those numbers don't flatter you. They tell you the truth. And truth builds businesses that last. Which brings us to another excuse almost every beginner has. I don't have enough money. Ironically, Lean Startup was built for people exactly like you. Because instead of risking everything, you test everything. Cheaply, before you commit. Here's the beautiful part. You don't have to build everything first. You launch early. You learn fast. You improve constantly. That's how small businesses survive. While big companies spend months planning, you're already learning from real customers. That's your advantage. In fact, some of today's biggest companies started ridiculously small. Not with perfect products, but with simple MVPs. A basic website, a rough prototype, even a single post online, just to see if anyone cared. That's all an MVP is. A learning tool, not a finished product. So if you wanted to start a business today, where do you actually begin? Step 1. Find a problem. Not a cool idea. A real problem. One that real people complain about. Listen carefully. Complaints are opportunities wearing disguises. Pay attention to the things people say every day. I wish this was easier. Why does this take so long? There has to be a better way. That's where businesses are born. Every great company started by solving a painful problem. Uber made getting a ride easier. Airbnb made finding a place to stay easier. Amazon made buying almost anything easier. They didn't invent problems. They removed friction. And that's your job too. Next, know exactly who you're building for. Not everyone. Specific people. Students. Busy professionals. Parents. Creators. Small business owners. The clearer your customer, the easier it becomes to build something they'll actually want. Because when you build for everyone, you end up building for no one. Lean Startup calls these people your early adopters. They're the first people willing to try something new. They'll give you honest feedback. They'll expose your blind spots. And they'll help shape your product. Finally, build your MVP. Keep it simple. Keep it fast. Keep it testable. Don't build to impress people. Build to learn from them. Give people something real to interact with, even if it's unfinished, even if it's ugly. Because 1 week of real customer feedback is worth more than 1 year of sitting in your room, wondering if your idea will work. You'll learn more from 1 week of real customers than from 1 year of sitting around thinking, Then comes the fourth step: measure, but don't collect data just because you can. Ask better questions. Did people understand your product? Did they actually find value in it? Did they come back? Did they tell someone else? Would they miss it if it disappeared tomorrow? Those answers reveal something priceless: the truth. Now comes the fifth step: learn, then adjust. Double down on what works, remove what doesn't. And if everything points in the wrong direction, pivot. Change your customer. Change the problem you're solving. Change your features. Change your pricing. Change how you deliver the product. Change whatever needs changing, except the mission. Then something amazing happens. You finally discover something people genuinely love. That's when you scale. Because lean startup isn't against growth, it's against blind growth. Once you have proof, once customers are buying, once they're coming back, that's when you invest. That's when you expand. That's when you innovate. Because now your growth is built on evidence, not hope. Remember this: entrepreneurship isn't about guessing better. It's about learning faster. The founders who win aren't the ones who know everything. They are the ones who experiment. They learn. They adapt. They evolve. That's what lean startup really gives you. Not certainty. A system for learning. A system for adapting. A system for staying close to your customers. So if you've been waiting for the perfect time to start, stop waiting. Start learning. Start testing. Start building. Your first version won't be perfect. It's not supposed to be. Great businesses aren't built in one attempt. They're built through iteration. One lesson, one improvement, one customer at a time. So don't just watch this video. Use it. Write down one problem you want to solve. Then, write the smallest version you could launch this week. Not next month. This week. Because every successful business started as something small. And every founder started exactly where you are today. So maybe the business the world talks about tomorrow begins with the tiny experiment you decide to launch today. Before we continue, let's settle this debate. What's more dangerous? Building too early or waiting too long? Defend your answer in the comments. If you're serious about understanding why some businesses dominate while others disappear, you're going to love Bizmess. Every week, we break down the strategies, psychology, and hidden decisions behind the world's smartest businesses. Every episode gives you another unfair advantage. So like, subscribe, and let's get into the next mess.